The old 6.9 and the F250 here leaks oil like a sieve, and I need a new starter, but I don't want to cover it in nasty oil right after I put it in, so we're going to do some valve cover gaskets today. I'm going to take all these units out. They got a 13mm head on them. Watch out for these little flat washers they got on there. Alrighty, let's take a look here. Honestly, I was expecting worse. Everybody seems reasonably tight, and there's not a lot of glue in here. It's just, I mean, it's icky, and you know, it's really not bad in here. For a truck that sat in a hole for 8 years, I expected a little rust or I don't know, something nasty, but I'm pleasantly surprised with the driver's side here. This gasket's really crunchy. You hear it shatter. So that was the problem. That's why we're getting so much oil leaking off of the side of these things. Just kind of chip it off here. And then we gotta clean everything really good. So the passenger side here is a lot more exciting to get at. So it's gonna be a good time. Alrighty, we got the little dipstick widget detached with a 10mm there. Pull the fuel filter here to get a little more clearance on the valve cover. That'll ruin your fuel prime, but I'm redoing fuel lines and working on that system right now anyways, so that's not that big of a deal. To me at least, it might be to you. You don't really want to dump a bunch of diesel under your valve cover on your valve train here. So once we get this valve cover pulled off real quick, we're actually gonna just kind of hand tighten the filter on there a little bit just to keep the fuel from dripping down in there. Gonna pull the studs out of here. There's another one over there, I already got it. Just gonna use the two nuts stacked on top of each other trick. I think it might give me a space I need to get this valve cover out of here. Got the passenger side removed. Pretty dirty looking units here. Pulling the fuel filter and pulling those two studs made it happen. Couldn't have done it if I didn't pull the fuel filter and both of those studs. So gonna go ahead and scrub on this unit for a good bit. The gasket that came out of this side was pretty crunchy too. I mean, you can just shatter it. So that's why I was having some leaks. So I think we're gonna stop right about here on cleaning these valve covers. I put a lot of time into them already. I'd like to strip them and repaint them because the factory paint on these, it seems to be factory based on the sticker and the condition of everything, but very drippy. I don't know how it's gonna show up in the camera here, but I mean, there's just paint drips everywhere on this thing. I don't know if International or Ford or whoever painted them just dripped a lot, but this is a drippy paint job. But we're gonna slap some valve covers gaskets on these and throw them back in the rig. Need to wipe off the mating surface on the head here really quick just to make sure and get a good contact there. The hardware that we're working with here is pretty crusty, so we're gonna give it the carbon choke and the green scratchy pad treatment. Using Felpro Victor Sierra 50247 Romeo for the International 7369. Looks like that dude's gonna line up that way. So we're gonna put a thin layer of RTV on the valve cover side just to help everything stay put while we drop these in place. Obviously, we're not trying to fill our cylinder head with RTV here. Just gonna clean every bolt hole here. Nothing looks cheaper than a bunch of RTV squirting out of the side of your engine, so trying to avoid that. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and drop this guy on here and then lock it in with the little rubber widgets. Okay, I always like to put a bolt in there just to kind of line things up, then run around and check and make sure the gasket didn't move any. You want to make sure that you've got these little spacer widgets going here. Those dissipate the force and help prevent valve cover warping. Now the torque spec on these things is pretty much tight enough, or 6 foot-pounds. I'm going hand tight with a socket and then doing just a little bit more with a driver here. Feel free to get out your torque wrench on these. You don't want to warp these because they warp easily and they're kind of important. Alrighty, I'd say the driver side's all buttoned up here. Gonna go ahead and tackle that passenger side now. Gonna have to pull the fuel filter again. I just had it there catching any drips to keep that off of the valve train there, because diesel in your oil's not really ideal. This side's a lot more fun to kind of wiggle in there. If you angle everything just right though, you can get it. RTVs are now on everything, but slid right in there, so that's a win. Gonna go ahead and thread these studs in here first for alignment purposes. Don't forget to put the little spacer shape widgets on the studs there. After the fancy little washer doodads, it's time to put a nut on each side. Next up, we've got the dipstick holder widget. Gonna slide that on there. Then we've got 2 washers. One on each side. And we're gonna thread a nut onto the top of those. And the dipstick holding widget is installed, with the final order of those parts being a weird spacer widget, a nut, the dipstick holder widget, washer, and a nut on top of that. Okay, definitely do not drop that. Just hooks into the little notch there. And then you're gonna put your screw in the screw hole there and you're ready to go. Go ahead and pre-fill your fuel filter. I like to throw a little seafoam in there just for good measure. Make sure and put a little bit of oil around that O-ring too. Alrighty, now you've got that on there, you should be good to fire up and good to go. You might have a little extra cranking, you might need to bleed some air off through the Schrader valve there. And watch to make sure nothing's dripping or leaking off those new valve cover gaskets. Sometimes you need to tighten them up just a little bit more, but you want to be careful not to go too hard on them, so you just go a little looser in the beginning and then tighten up later and you're all good to go.